Shalom, this is Yawana Don with the Men of Valor Camp. I want to give all praises to the Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. Double honors to the elders and the elect that rule well. Salakia for not being here for a while. No excuse for it. I definitely got to get better about that and rebuke myself on that. But more importantly, get more focused on these things. Just as a spiritual being or just as a conscious or conscious person. I can definitely be better, and my mind can be more into this thing. And I pray that I can get there, and I pray that other brothers get there too. The reason why I'm making this video today is because there's a lot of stuff going on the internet where people are just getting offended. I mean, I had a conversation where I was conversing with my boy the other day, and a topic came up where he had, pardon me, where he got upset with another Israelite that he knew personally. I don't know the person, but they said something that was kind of rough to him. And I told him that, pretty much it's emotions. Like, yeah, you can say things a different way, but at the end of the day, you got to break down a statement. Was it true? And that doesn't mean that you can't say things better. That doesn't mean that we can't be better at that type of stuff. But you got to understand, the truth is going to come out how it's going to come out. And it's not going to change the circumstances. And with that said, the first thing I wanted to bring out was Galatians chapter 4:16. Am I therefore become your enemy because I tell you the truth? And a lot of times people don't want to deal with that part of it. You get upset and you get offended. You get offended at delivery. But the truth is the truth. The truth is always going to be the truth. I mean, so can we soften the blow? I mean, there's going to be some brothers that have the ability to soften the blow. There's brothers that can articulate a certain way, and then there's just certain brothers that's just rough, and that's just what it is. They're rough. They say things rough. They come off abrasive. They come off rough. It is what it is. You got to ask yourself, are you able to get the message? Because at the end of the day, that might be the only time you get it. You can't wait for a sweet way for a message to be presented because you may never get it. So you got to be able to take what you can. So if it's somebody's telling you the truth, they're telling you the truth. And also, you can't be a respecter of person. Like, all right, somebody tell you the truth, but you don't like them, so you're not going to take it? Nah, man, they don't work that way. The truth is still the truth. Now, I will also say this, though. And this is to brothers. Because sometimes some things don't need to be said, although it may be truth. So, this is Ecclesiastes chapter 3. It says, to everything there is a season, and a time to every purpose under the heavens, a time to be born and a time to die, a time to plant and a time to pluck up which has been planted, a time to kill and a time to heal, a time to break down and a time to build up, a time to weep and a time to laugh, a time to mourn and a time to dance, a time to cast away stones and a time to gather stones together, a time to embrace and a time to refrain from embracing, a time to get and a time to lose, a time to keep and a time to cast away, a time to rend and a time to sow, a time to keep silence and a time to speak. That will be the point. It's a time to be silent and it's a time to speak. We have to do a better job at gauging that. Everything ain't necessary. And at the end of the day, I mean, it's still the Lord's will. So, but I used Malcolm X as an example. Elijah Muhammad told him, don't say nothing about John F. Kennedy. What he said was, what he said about John F. Kennedy true? Yeah. Perhaps. But, at the end of the day, it wasn't a time for it. And we got to also be mindful of that. It's not always expedient. That doesn't mean don't speak your truth, don't speak the truth, don't push for it, don't fight for it, but just know it's a time and a place. You got to be wise as a dove, but wise as a serpent or harmless as a dove. With that said, this is also to like the Jonathan Isaacs type people, which Most High has a sense of humor. It says it's a time to love and it's a time to hate, it's a time to war and it's a time to peace. He was going in about the gospel the other day about how kneeling and all that stuff is performative and it has no, it doesn't work for him, and he's not doing it because it's not, it's just counterproductive, and it's the gospel is going to bring us together, and wasn't like that, but nah, Jesus was radical. So that's a lie, and the irony of it, is he wouldn't take a knee with the rest of the players, which in my opinion, for the most part, I could see his point in thinking that doesn't mean anything because it is performative right now. But the Most High, few days later, he he suffered a torn ACL. I mean, that's the Most High right there. But yeah, a time of love and a time to hate, a time of war and a time of peace. What profit hath he that worketh and whereof he laboreth? Okay, I think that was it on that. But main thing is a time and a place for everything, and please, Baba Bashar, just be mindful of that. The last thing, 2 Corinthians 11:6. But though I'd be rude in speech, and this is to people that got offended, so I'm doubling back to that. Though I be rude in speech, yet not in knowledge, but we have been thoroughly made manifest among you in all things. So yeah, I can be rude in speech, and I'm not saying it's okay, but I'm not in knowledge. I know what I'm talking about. And that's not to discount or validate anyone's feelings or to discount what anyone's saying, because they may be knowledgeable about things too. But I know what I'm saying, so though I be rude in speech, if I cuss, I cuss. If I said it harsh, then I said it harsh. But it's still knowledge. We can't reject knowledge. But that's all I really had on that. And again, Salakia for not being around. I'll try to get better at that, Lord willing. Till the next time, Lord willing, shalom.